Hi Aquarius, this is Heather. Welcome to your monthly forecast for September. This is for Aquarius sun, moon, and rising signs. And as I just sort of tuned into your energy, I just asked Spirit for any sort of word, anything that's kind of the theme for this month for you guys. And it's funny because I was struggling a little bit, like I could see it, but it was like I couldn't grasp it. And I was like, what is this word they're saying to me? And it's like it was right there. And when I finally just sort of got calm and quiet, I got the word organizing. And so I feel like there's some things where you guys are going to be doing some organizing. There might be some shuffling of things in your life. I feel like there might be some going through and sort of cleaning out closets, might be literally organizing your desktop files. There might be some purging of things that no longer serve you. I feel like that's a lot of the energies that have been coming forward as well. But it feels like it's a good thing. It feels like you're making space for something new. And so that's really what it feels like. Yeah, and so I'm writing that down here because I feel like that really is the title for you guys. So let me just, I'm just going to kind of tune in here to the energies and see what I've got. I'm getting, a lot of times when Spirit comes in, I get super thirsty, so I apologize. So I'm going to just grab a quick drink here. Okay. All right, so the way that I'm going to do these readings is I'm going to be using my own deck here for the first. I'll go through and do mind body using my deck here when Spirit speaks. This is going to be available on my Etsy store if anyone's interested for pre-order. And then I'll be using the Spirit, just kind of a general Spirit message, using Mystic Moons, Signs from Spirit, Love Oracle. So, sorry, there we go. These are amazing cards. They've got a lot of good people cards in there as well that's kind of popping in, and so I wanted to use those. And then I'll also be using her Mystic Moon Oracle's Twin Flame Journey Tarot. And so that will cover off on the general themes for the month. And then I'll end it with a She Believed She Could, So She Did. And so, let's see. So okay, interesting. As I'm sort of tuning into your energy, I have three energies that are coming forward. They're coming in together. And it's almost like they're a pair. It's a three peas in a pod. Their energy, it's all done together. And so I feel like this feeling of like being, there might be something where there's three of you. There's just, all I could say is there's three energies that are popping in. Let me just see if there's anything else here. Yeah, this feels like there might even be some things about kind of going back in time. You might be, when you're doing your organizing and cleaning, you might pull back energies from the past and kind of think about the relationships that you've had in the past and how those have transformed over time and how they just sort of look different to you now. So that might be it as well. And so let's just sort of jump in, Aquarius, and see what Spirit has from a mind-body perspective. So Spirit, what messages do you have for Aquarius from a mind-body perspective for the month of September? What are some of the things that they need to know at this time? I definitely feel like there's some things regarding relationship as well, in the sense of where there's opposing, two people can have very different sort of the way that they look at the world. So perception, there's kind of a mirror effect going on here as well that I feel like in terms of the energy. They're just kind of the way that we perceive things, the way that we take things. It's like, for example, taste buds. They say that some people that you're either born with the taste bud of loving cilantro or you hate it. There's like no in between. I love cilantro, but some people literally think it tastes like soap. And so that's kind of one of those things as well. It's the feeling of like you literally just having different kind of biology and being different, opposing like that. It doesn't mean you're wrong or right. It's just different. And so that's a theme that's coming in here as well. Let's see, Spirit, what messages do you have for Aquarius from a mind-body perspective? What are some of the things that they need to know at this time? What are some of the... Gosh, and I feel like a really strong, like, energy. Like there might be some folks too that have a connection from a religious perspective, and they're kind of working through that as well in terms of you might be dealing with some of, okay, wow, I'm getting massive chills right now. Spirit's coming in really hard right now. I feel like some of you might be dealing with some individuals who are, you might have some people that are maybe, maybe you're not religious and they are religious, or you're dealing with your own sort of like reconciling your spiritual path to the religion that you sort of grew up with. And that feels really strong as well. I've been told to bring in 2 cards here for the mind and body. And so, and actually, as I'm saying this might involve an earth sign as well. So Cancer, Taurus, or Virgo, there might be an earth sign that's connected with this as well, where, and you may not know their sign, but there's something about them where it's like, this might have to do with, they might be very religious and you may not be, and so therefore there's a conflict at play. But I feel like Spirit's kind of bringing comfort to that thing, and this is very strong about a dynamic of opposing views, but it's like we're all saying the same thing, right? Tomato, tomato. So it's all kind of the same. Like we just have different language. It's like no different than different countries. You say one word in one country and it might be offensive to someone, and another it might be a way of greeting individuals. And so I feel like that's what's going on, where it's not like it's just sort of the way it is, but it's not, it's love. There's still love at the core essence of it all. And so I think sometimes we sort of talk past each other in that. So what other messages do you have for Aquarius from a mind and body perspective? Okay, fire sign. Wow. Okay, so oh my gosh, this is interesting. So look at the the 2 dynamics here. So we've got the earth sign, stable, and then we've got the fire sign that's an intensity, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. So you might actually be dealing with these individuals where there's opposing views. This could be kind of an example of where you both have opposing views and it's one extreme to the other. And so I feel like the biggest thing around this is knowing that like there are no right or wrong answers, there just is. And so just knowing that that's sort of, it's okay to have that as well. And with this fire sign, I feel like, you know, with Aquarius, it's just, I don't know, there's something, I need to keep going on this. There's something else that I'm not quite, I mean, it's almost the balance of all the energies, right? So you've got earth, Aquarius is an air sign, then you've got fire. The only thing you don't have here is water, but the water feels like the emotions around it. There might be some other energies popping in with that as well. The changing of the seasons feels like kind of significance as well. Let's see what Spirit has to say from a general spiritual message for Aquarius for the month of September. Spirit, what messages do you have just generally for Aquarius at this time? What are some of the things that they need to know? What are some of the energies? And I also feel like some of you may have had, like in your ancestry or in your heritage, in your further generations, you may have had strong connections to the metaphysics and the occult. But it feels like it had to be kind of hidden underneath the surface. I feel like some of you may have had to hide that aspect, or I'm sorry, they may have had to hide, but I feel like it's really about you breaking out during this lifetime and honoring who you are with no apologies. And so that feels really important as well. It's like, it's almost, oh, wow, as I say that, these 3 individuals coming back in again, they're coming in really strong. It's like the lineage of your history and being able to kind of break the cycles within that. And so let's just see what Spirit has to say in terms of a spiritual message for Aquarius. Spirit has come into these messages really strong. Let's see. Okay, Spirit, what messages do you have for Aquarius? Let's see. Okay. All right. Circles and completion. Oh, wow. Okay. So, wow. Okay. So like I was saying with this feeling of this, during this life, there's something that you can do to kind of break a cycle and complete kind of the circle of past generations of what they haven't been able to complete. But it's you doing that through speaking your truth and speaking your words and sort of owning your path and just being very unapologetic about it. It feels really, really strong with you. Wow. Okay. Yes, it feels like this new energy of embracing this space is coming in. So let's see what What's the general theme for Aquarius for the month of September? What's the general theme that Aquarius needs to know regarding this month? Let's see. All right. They're telling me to go back in and pull another one here, so I'll do that for clarity. But I do want to pull the general theme here because for whatever reason, it feels like it all has to kind of go together the way it's going to come out. Okay, what's the general theme for Aquarius for this month? What's the general theme? All right, general theme, general theme. Okay, all right. Oh, wow. Moon, illusions. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Okay, so you can see that here. Oh, okay. And I'm noticing the moon and kind of the circles, completions. There's just all like, it's almost like the water. Oh, wow. Okay, so what was one of the things I was saying is the signs that's not represented as water, but here you've got a lot of that water energy that's coming in here. So it's almost like, wow, I'm getting chills. It's like this feeling of we are all one, we are all connected, and this feeling of really sort of breaking past the barriers that people perceive and the limitations that we receive in this life, that we all are connected. And a lot of times it's kind of the human language that divides us. And so there's something really strong in terms of that. So I'm going to go back and pull another card here. The signs from Spirit. There's something else that Spirit wants to bring up in that space as well as it relates to this. And let's see here. Spirit, what other messages do you have for Aquarius at this time? What other messages do you have for Aquarius? Yeah, it's feeling like okay, that one popped out here. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, bridge reconciliation. Wow. Okay, so this all makes sense, and they had to come out the way that they did because you're getting representation of all the signs, but it's that bridging, and the bridging is the understanding of everyone kind of coming together. The bridge brings everyone else together from different sides, right? And so when you take that bridge, you reconcile, you come across and you meet them where they're at. And so this really feels good in terms of the energy of healing, reconciliation, kind of getting into the space where you can sort of come to peace with some of the things that are around you. And again, this is not about you necessarily changing your behavior, but it's seeing things through the eyes of love and seeing how everyone is different and comes with a different lens through life. And so I think that's really important what I'm getting here as well. I'm going to pull one of the just general positive affirmation cards that we've got here. And so these are just sort of the quotes that I've been pulling in to the end of these. But I'm actually being told to pull back another one of my cards here. So, but I'll let's do this and bring some. Let's see what Spirit has to say here in terms of this message as well. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. And so this is really about you sort of acknowledging who you are and not what other people want you to be. And so this is really about standing in your power, owning your space, acknowledging your existence, and not having to sort of cave into other people's expectations of yourself, but owning who you are in this lifetime. So that's really important as well. You know, some people talk about curses and past lifetimes and stuff with their family. And I guess if you look at if you call it by that name, that's fine. But to me, it's more about, it's not, I wouldn't say it's a, well, I mean, definitions, right? Definitions is where we divide ourselves. But it's really around I'll just give you the energy. I'm about energy versus the labels. And so the energy of that is the feeling of not being able to kind of meet your full maturation from a soul level in this life because you're bound by expectation. And so coming into this life, it's very difficult because there's sort of societal norms and cultural and religious beliefs that are all man-made, that have been sort of created for us to abide to. And so when we come into this life, it's no different than a kid. You take a baby into any country and they'll learn the language as they grow up, not having that knowledge. But if you as an adult try to go and integrate into that language, it's very difficult. And so that's one of the things as well, as we come in and learn how we're supposed to act and say and talk and be. And so that's part of that as well. But this is really you sort of deciding who you want to be and owning that in this lifetime with no apologies, no regrets. And you've got the support from these ancestors that are coming into your energy at this time and helping bridge this to reconcile the past and even the past of your family. And so that's really what I get around that. This is sort of these past energies that are coming forward to support you, because they're like, you know what, you're going to make this. It's like you're part of this sort of team, and you're the one that they send in to get the game-winning home run. You're the next batter up. You're the one who can bring them home. And so that's part of what I'm getting here as well. So let me just see what other messages, that general mind, body, what's going on in your physical space at this time as it relates to these events that are occurring. Okay, let's see here. Oh, wow. Okay. Surrender and ego. And so this is all about letting go. This is all about deciding who you want to be and being it and not being afraid. And so that just wraps this up completely perfectly, makes perfect sense in terms of the completion of cycles, the bridging. A lot of times when we have to reconcile, we have to let go of our ego. It's not about me being right and you being wrong. It's about us bridging the gap to reconcile, to coexist in this lifetime together, and not necessarily deal with the illusions that have been created from in this lifetime, that at the essence and the core essence of everything, we are all one, we are all connected. And so that's really what I'm getting for this. It's amazing, it's beautiful, but in going back to the key word, I was asking Spirit, like in terms of the organization, like what does that mean, organizing? That's part of it as well. I feel like you might physically be doing some work to organize your relationships, organize the way that you come out in the world, the way that you present yourself. But it's also, you might actually see this in a physical manifestation, where I know a lot of times when I feel like I have change in my life, I have this massive need to go clean like my basement, go clean a closet, something like that. And that's where I'm being pulled, because that's where the change is going to occur. And so it helps me to sort of process that in a new way. So Aquarius, I hope this was helpful for you. Thanks for your patience while I finished out the readings here for all of the signs. And I just hope you have an amazing September. Namaste.